Hello, happy Sunday. I haven't been very present online with lives or with recordings. It has been a challenging couple of weeks. Last week I didn't even do the podcast. Yesterday I recorded one. I'm going to post it tonight. A little bit late. Normally I post on a Friday, but this week was a little bit intense schedule-wise. So it is what it is. I am actually doing something that I like to share with everybody. And that is, how do we manage our time is really important for our mental health, and having boundaries with our time is even more important. So the things that I've learned is that obviously I get excited about doing a lot of projects because they fill my soul, and they really do. I love that I can contribute to society. I love that I can do things that are good for people. But I am one person, and although I do feel energetic most of the time, and I feel super, productive, and I feel like I'm living my purpose, that I don't really have a job, I have like a mission. It is, however, I'm one person, and we only have 24 hours in a day, and the truth is, we have to manage that time, because self-care is equally as important. And yesterday I worked all day. In the morning I went to the gym, then I worked, and at night I allowed myself to go to this Thai massage parlor and have a 30 minutes massage. I asked the girl to actually work on my hip area where the lymphatic system is, because I have been finding that I've been struggling with lymphedema, and that's something that I never had a problem with. I had a little bit of it when I was on the pill, and it started getting worse when I took that vaginal estriol, and I stopped it though 2 weeks ago. Then it got all better, and now it happened again. So it's been really challenging because of course I don't feel great. I'm actually very tired when I have these problems. So a lot of massages for my lymphatic system. I've done 3 days of juicing again. Last time I did the whole week. And I am actually doing fully raw now, even my beloved soy. But you gotta do what you gotta do. When you're not 100%, you have to do what you have to do. And this is how I work with my clients, and this is how I work with myself. I do not preach something and then practice something different. So I always walk my talk, and that's something I'm very proud of. So managing our time has become really important for me, managing my time, and I started to having to say no to a lot of things. So I'm letting go of something I love doing, which is actually I'm a teaching assistant at the Energetic Health Institute, where once a week, it's only once a week, and it's a couple of hours, but those couple of hours really add up, and I've realized that they're not working for me, which is really sad. But I think I need to be really honest with myself about my limitations with time and energy, and so I'm gonna have to let it go again. I've done 2 trimesters, which is nice. I've done it before, I've done it now. I can always go back, which is awesome, because the team is very welcoming and helpful, and I can always go back and do a trimester or 2. So I know that I can always do that, but of course it's a challenge for my time, and it's become more and more taxing for me. Then I also I work with plant-based treaty, but actually last week I did an event in Guimarães, and I realized that I need to work with them in my own work already with Elevate, and there is no way I can actually expand myself to do more. I don't want to. I don't have the capacity, and I'm just gonna have to be really honest about this. My heart was really into becoming more part of the team and signing up for things, but I think at a global level I can definitely work with plant-based treaty to do to allow the podcast to be more integrated into maybe plant. I will have to talk to to the founder about this. But when it comes to local things, I can talk to politicians. I can definitely do the more Braga-centric things, north even, Braga for Malicao. But I really cannot stretch myself too thin. It's just not something that is going to allow me to thrive, and I don't want to get sick for this. And I had a reminder from Marley that I really need to slow down. I recorded this in the podcast. Like, my last 2 weeks have been very emotional for me. I mean, I've already been going through a lot of challenges emotionally for the past 3 years, but Marley, we found she has a growth on her spleen. So on Tuesday she's having a splenectomy, and I'm not. I mean, of course, the vets is gonna say what the vets is gonna say, which is, if it's cancer, like, it's not. I mean, I don't want to hear that. I mean, doctors, they really think they are God just because they look at statistics, but I also look how, you can't tell a dog won't make it for that amount of time. When the problem with people is that they don't change what gave the dog the problem in the first place. Now, I do not know exactly what contributed to this with Marley, but I have a hinge now that it could be the food. Although she eats Akana, I have only just found out Akana was actually in a lawsuit in the US for heavy metals components, which I had no idea. I've been racking my brain about what do I do here? Like, what has happened? What's going on? And that is the one thing, because I don't use any chemical products. Yeah, she's stayed with my friends who do use bleach on the floor, but like twice, in a healthy body, like, you can manage. I don't love it, but and we've been into the vet clinic several times where they had just washed the floor and they do it with bleach. So, of course those things contribute, but again, bigger spectrum, not really. The past year I've been using normal pipettes on her because she went twice near animals that had fleas and she got them. And of course I don't want them to have fleas, and it was just awful because I had to make sure I cleaned everything all the time. I cleaned her. We managed to eradicate them, but that stuff goes into the blood and it's poison. Whether they like to say it or not, it could be safe. Like, it's not going to kill you straight away, but just like every pesticide, it is accumulating in the blood. And if you're not, if your body is not managing, some people, just like animals, and animals just like people, we have sensitivities to things, and so that could have contributed. So now we're back on only natural, and and obviously staying away from animals that have freaking fleas, which that was my cats, because unfortunately my ex-husband doesn't actually care to take care of these things because he doesn't even notice. But yeah, anyway, so that has to change. The other thing is, of course, also the food. So Akana was sued for having heavy metals. Then I realized they were bought by Mars, because when I started using Akana years ago for her, because she has a lot of allergies, and Akana is the brand that kept it raw. Actually, they dehydrate the food, so the nutrients are still there. They used to be anyway. It has single protein, so she's on duck. I know it's not vegan, and unfortunately Marley is one of my dogs that does not even like eating an apple. Like, sometimes I have to trick her into it, but like, honestly, it drives me insane. So I have to do what I have to do, right? I mean, she has to eat and she has to be healthy. So, and of course the paradox now is that she's not healthy, but I will make her healthy. And so the decision I had to make at the expense of my heart, because this is really heavy for me, is that she has to be on the BARF diet, which is BARF. I know in English is like throwing up, but in this context, it means biologically appropriate raw food. So it is 100% meat and it's raw. Now, I bought a few kilos of it just to try it. She eats it when she's hungry. She doesn't love it. The first day it was novelty. She ate it straight away. Then she was like, "Oh, I don't want this." Even if I add in coconut oil with turmeric and to get the inflammation down, I had to. I'm gonna cook it because she doesn't want to eat it raw. So we're gonna do that. And I can make her fish, and I can make things that, like, I mean, again, even the thought about touching these animal products, like his flesh, it drives me crazy. But I'm trying to disconnect from that part and be like, you're doing it for a reason. And I am doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for her to be healthy. I'm doing it for, in case she has cancer, everything that I read online has been go on a raw diet. And of course, This means also having to implement more greens and more vegetables in our diet. But we also have to be balanced because animals are, they have an acidic pH in comparison to ours, and I cannot make her too alkaline. She will have other issues like urinary tract infections, for example. So this is a very interesting balance for me to work with, but I'm trying to. But I also have some vegan recipes for dogs, and I am looking online if these ingredients are appropriate for cancer. So I'm really looking at everything. But every holistic vet that I found online, unfortunately, has stated that a raw diet is the best. And to be honest with you, even if I was vegan already when I got Scooby, he had to be on raw because he had digestive issues, and his digestive issues went away by being raw. And the vet was even against it. He was like, no, I don't believe it works. But he got better. He had no gastritis anymore. He had no diarrhea anymore. Like, it got better. He still doesn't have it anymore. Like, we actually managed to reverse. So, I have to think about animals. I know that dogs are omnivores and they can eat plants, but equally, sometimes, just like for humans, you need to tweak something for a specific time. Now, in humans, we're luckier, I think, because we actually thrive on plants much more than a dog would. But dogs can also thrive on plants, by the way. Like, the oldest living dog is vegan, But again, I don't know, there are no studies, and I would love to have some studies that show the difference between vegan dogs and non-vegan dogs. We just don't have the numbers. So those are anecdotes, but they're still powerful. And I looked online for dogs that had splenectomies, and they found out the growth was cancer, and they managed to actually keep the dog alive, and he's still alive on a raw diet, and other things like medicinal mushrooms and artemises and probiotics, CBD. Not a lot of science behind it. I must say there's a little bit of lack of evidence for some. Not that it's lack of evidence. Like, the evidence is not strong because they haven't done controlled randomized studies. Mostly because not pharmaceuticals. I mean, the companies that make the drugs for pets are the same companies that make drugs for humans, so they care to sell the drugs. That's just the reality of it. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just a business model. They are huge. They control the world. Of course, they're gonna make sure that they make money. They have shareholders. It is what it is. But I do believe there's an alternative to things. And so it's been a really challenging time. But we had animal communication sessions where she literally showed the animal communicator, and I was sitting next to her, and I must say, like, in the meditation, I felt really tired. But she's been saying, I need you to slow down, Mom. And she also said she will be fine. So I'm of course worried about the surgery more than anything else, because I can manage her body and recovering from cancer if she has it. I really know that I can. But I am. A surgery is out of my control. I mean, everything is out of my control, but surgery is that moment in time that I just hope she was going to be okay in. I even paid extra money to make sure that the vet has blood. Like he said, I don't usually get it because obviously we give coagulants. Her numbers were not 100% for coagulation, so we give coagulants. We make sure that her kidneys are fine, But I'm like, I want you to have the blood. It's like, that we have to throw it away if you don't use it. I'm like, it's fine. And of course it's €300, but her life is worth more than €300 to me. So, I mean, but that is not even a question. I can't even believe that parents would even say, well, let's save €300 just in case. And then she bleeds out, then what? I said, then what happens if she needs the blood? Well, she might die. I'm like, yeah, that is stupid even for her. Like, I just think a vet should not even think that that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a small percentage of time, like, organize yourself to have blood. I mean, I don't care. Put it in the package. And then put it in the package already. And then if really a pet parent doesn't give a shit, unfortunately, they can take it out. But, like, it should be an automatic add-on. Full stop for every surgery, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. and I'm gonna stick to it. So I'm paying extra for the blood. I'm also, her life to me is everything. Like, she's my baby, she's my child. I didn't have human children. This girl is with me all the time. So you can imagine how I've been feeling, and I'm sharing really my heart on here. This is more like a personal share, but also, of course, it's got this value your time, make sure that you have boundaries. But I'm really sharing because it's been really heavy on my heart, and I've noticed that I haven't been able to be productive at all. I need to start my school, communities. I had all the plan. My friend Kate took the time to sit with me, although honestly I wish I sit with her and actually implement with her, because I have this, I think my trauma sometimes from, I don't know where, I have to really work that out, as it gives me inertia. I mean, once I start, I fly, but like to start, I don't know, I have inertia that I have to deal with. So, I haven't been able, like my brain hasn't been in the right place. I've been really sad and worried, and I know she tells me not to worry, and I've been making sure that I give her more time, that I walk with her more slowly, and she's my priority, and she is my priority. I've been so busy that I feel like I've been rushing her, and that too can contribute to how she feels. And I want that not to be the case. I want her to feel safe and listened to and understood and have the time with mommy, and I need to really find, and there are many things that are happening that are very positive. So, and I'm finding the strength to really stand my truth and fight for it, because I've been really, I guess, a bit passive even with my divorce, not to argue, but I am actually at the point now that we don't have to argue, but like where I'm just gonna stand really firm in what I need and want, and it is what it is, and I hope that we don't have to argue, but I've been a very good person about everything. I've been really understanding, I've been really mindful, I've been very sacrificial in a way, and it's okay. Like, actually, not rushing has given me time to really figure out things, and not rushing makes you make less mistakes. So I'm really happy that I've taken time for everything. But now this year is action year. It's a fire horse, and I knew at the beginning of the year my word was action, so it's gonna happen. So this is what's going on with me. I wanted to share with you. I've done a podcast that is obviously not about this. I've done a small introduction about what's been happening, but the podcast is actually a great podcast, and it's about us women not being broken. It talks about sexual desires through perimenopause and postmenopause. I cannot tell you how many clients I see that don't, and I actually seen it with people that I know personally in my personal space, that just don't have sexual desire in menopause. And it's very sad in a way, because actually that is such a powerful channel for us women to express ourselves, which is why all of the energy is in the pelvic floor. And of course I actually can understand why my pelvic floor is the one that is blocked up right now. There's been a lot of trauma emotionally that is just but I'm young, and I'm like, hey, I don't want to live sexless like for the rest of my life, so, and it's an interesting one. So I have shared it on the podcast, which I'll post tonight, latest tomorrow morning, and I will and I hope it will help women feel understood and listened and heard, because we get a lot of gaslighting even about this, believe it or not. And and I love your feedback. I mean, if you don't follow the Wellness Woman podcast page on Instagram, please do. If you don't follow the Wellness Woman podcast page on YouTube, which is actually under my page, Chantal Donato, please do, or Live Health, still that name. I have to change it to Cycles Wellness soon. Please check it out. I really would value your input. I mean, I have so many beautiful episodes on there that you can also check. And also remember, end of the month we are launching Nutrition Unpacked with Brenda Davis. We're doing one show per month for the time being, because we're recording very slowly. Brenda is an incredibly busy woman. She's launching a new book, so she's in the editing phase. She's lecturing all over the world, and North America first, like Canada and and the United States. So she is traveling a lot, and I know that her commitment to this project with me is such a blessing. I love how she doesn't have the time, but she agreed to do it, and so I respect her time incredibly. And I wanted to do a weekly one, but I thought, let's do a monthly, so there's less pressure. We have time to record nicely. I also want to make sure that the recordings of video are going to share some of the sponsors that or the affiliates that I have, because an income will actually allow me to expand this show and maybe even hire an editor, because I'm a very basic editor. So yeah, there are good things happening. I found the property, so I'm not going to share too much because I want to make sure that it's a close deal before, but I'm very happy about it. So guys, big love, and I really hope that you are thriving where you are, and if you have struggles with time management, remember that saying no is a part of self-care. Bye.